Welcome, 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 welcome. This is G. You are watching Allastrology, and today we are going to go over the week of December 1st, 2025. There it is. We are in December, and we've got on the screen Venus, Pluto, Uranus. Let's start off at the very beginning of the month. And we are tracking Mercury. Mercury, your mind, communication, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about. Mercury's in Scorpio energy. This is the money, the moolah, the insurance. This is our shared values. When Mercury communicates about Scorpio energy, it's talking about stuff that matters. It's not frivolous. It's not fluffy. It's not unicorns and candy canes and birthday cakes and all that stuff. It's talking about the past, possibly. It's talking about shit that really it's got some meat on the bones. It's hefty. It's intense. It's powerful. This is what Mercury's thinking and talking and communicating about. That's shared desires, shared interest, shared money, the planet, the natural resources, and of course, tariffs, taxes, rare earth minerals, all that stuff. So this Mercury starts off the week at a Jupiter degree. So it's the things and the things. What we're thinking about in terms of our future and our shared natural resources. And maybe even some Jupiter energy in terms of judges and judgments. This is a deep thinker. These are deep conversations. Remember, Scorpio is also like that esoteric energy, the occult, the hidden, very psychic sign. So some people may have some intuitive enhanced abilities, but we have to always be cautious with the Scorpio stuff, right? Because it's really about stepping into the other side. And when we step into that other side, we're not always hearing what is necessarily like fact, right? Or clear and true, even because we're just stepping into the other side. That astral realm is that Scorpio energy. While it can be extremely psychic, the difference is, am I connecting something that is closer to the truth, as opposed to, oh, I'm connecting with everybody on that other side. Lots of playful spirits, right? Just want to have a good time. That happens too. So with that said, we are also starting the week off with Venus just entering Sagittarius. So we definitely are thinking about the future, right? Because it's a Saggy energy. It thinks about the future. My philosophy on life, truth, justice, and freedom. My definition of truth, your definition of truth, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. There's a lot of freedoms that we feel have been infringed upon, right? And so this is a conversation piece for sure. And justice and judgments and rulings and cases about what happened in the past and what were the abuses of power that were taken. As Venus goes through Saggy energy, we might feel a bit of optimism. We might feel a bit confident. We might feel, well, if we mix Venus, my desires, and what I love, we always usually got to be cautious because Venus is all about the yummies, December, right? The Christmas cookies and all that stuff, right? Holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. It's just that time of year where we find a reason to get together and share some awesome food. And there's usually some sweets involved, but Venus, that is like one of her weak points. She loves her some sweets. And in Saggy, she loves her some wine. For sure. So we want to be careful with overindulgence whenever we talk about Jupiter and Sagittarius energy, because it just adds to something, okay? Because with Mercury beginning at 21 degrees, so Jupiter's at 24 degrees. Judges, politicians, actors, actresses, music, sound, it's in Cancer, so it's home and family and women, and the public sentiment, the emotions of the public, government energy, definitely immigration, that issue for sure. Saturn, look at Saturn. It's no longer retrograding. Right. The Saturn retrograde ended like on November 30th, the end of the month. And usually that would mean restrictions lighten up. So if the government shutdown was still going on, then what I would say is the restrictions are gone at this point. So this can be optimistic. Okay. So a retrograding Saturn is strong with restrictions. It squeezes, it tightens up. And yeah, it can tighten up so much that it's tightened up the wallet. It's tightened up the checkbook, right? So now Saturn is releasing and it's flowing. We see the nodes are at 14, and that's money. That's the money degree. That's values. That's the finances. That's banks. That is money, money, money. All right. Values and food, but institutional energy. So this would show support as well for that whole government thing to finally be over and for people to finally get paid. Uranus, 28 degrees I have written up there. We're going to find Uranus, and there it is. It's at 29 degrees. This is kind of a big week. Uranus is at 29, and it's flipping this week. It's literally going from 29 to 28. The public comes up. 28 degrees is the moon degree. That is the public. That's home and that's family, right? Absolutely. So when this occurs, we think of money and finances. Taurus is all about financial security. It's all about things being stable and grounded. It's all about food and the creature comforts, right? Well, when the money ain't right, how comfortable are you? Right? If you can't eat, if you're struggling to put food on the table, that's a problem. Your security is feeling like it doesn't exist at that point. And Uranus's job is to destabilize, it is to shatter the old paradigm, the old system. It is its job to shake shit up. That's what it does. So when it goes from 29 to 28 and it's at that moon degree, this does give me pause because it says Uranus is here to shake shit up for the public, even 28 degrees. So we'll see what that means exactly, because it's still retrograding and it's a strong thing. And usually when Uranus goes into the earth energy, there could be like earthquake type of energy. Like it can be literally shaking shit up. It can look like that. Okay. Pluto is a factor this week. Pluto itself, literally like November 4th, November 5th, Pluto goes from the 155 and it clicks, it dings to 2 degrees. November 4th, November 5th, depending upon where you live in the world. 2 degrees is the money degree. That's the Venus degree yet again. So you see this week, we've got values and desires and food, even Venus, money in the bank, and farming and bankers, banking in general, okay, coming up on the picture. By the nodes, remember, 2 degrees, or I'm sorry, 14 degrees, that's a Venus degree. So it pops up in a lot of ways. There is a full moon video already out for December, and it's at 13 degrees in Gemini. So there is definitely something about the business and the trade and the business and commerce in general that's going on. And that's ending because it's a full moon. And there's more than that, of course. So go check that video out if you want more details. The Fortuna that I have been tracking is now at 22 degrees this week. Caregivers, like there's a whole lot of that, right? That very personal touch kind of service. This is housekeeping. This is the hotel industry. This is the restaurant industry. This is the service industry in general. And we think of the greater economy and all the little microeconomies that get built up around it. So 22 degrees is where we begin, which is corporations. This is the corporation, boss energy, and jobs. And this is the long-term financial security. Okay. It's going to move to 24. So the 24 degrees well, that's Pisces. So we think possibly things looking a little blurry and a little fuzzy and uncertain, and where we're told to have faith. Like that's the 24 degrees. It can be idealistic and optimistic in terms of faith and hope and wanting to believe in only the best, right? And praying for what it is that we want and what we need. 24 degrees, government and public figures. We're going to keep tracking this because I believe at the 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, there's a particular person who has their Fortuna at 29 in Virgo. And so I really want to watch this Fortuna to see the rise and the fall of someone's fortune, right? To see how does that work exactly? Because I've only been tracking it for a little bit of time. So I will be keeping a very close eye on it from here on out until when that 27, 28, 29 degrees comes around, and we'll talk about it and we'll see how did Fortuna play out.